Daniel Ortega, Nicaragua's longtime president, has just declared that the country will never hold elections again. In a speech rallying supporters, the 80-year-old leader said, "There will never be elections here again." That statement cuts through any pretense that Nicaragua still has a functioning democracy. Ortega's remarks are the latest flashpoint in a regime that has been accused of rigging polls, dismantling institutions, killing protesters, and jailing critics, journalists, religious leaders, opposition politicians, and even some longtime allies. Ortega and his wife, Rosario Murillo, who acts as co-president, have governed the nation of roughly 7 million for about 30 years. After the Sandinistas seized power in the 1980s, Ortega lost an election in the 1990s but returned to office in 2007 and has remained in power ever since. In 2018, massive protests threatened his rule, and since then the government has increasingly tightened its grip on power. The new announcement comes amid speculation that Nicaragua would hold a presidential vote next year, as its Congress, controlled by the Ortega-Murillo duo, had extended their term. Instead, the president has moved to eliminate any such electoral process altogether. An opposition voice, former 2021 presidential candidate Felix Maradiaga, who was arrested in 2023, forced out of the race, and has since been exiled to the United States, described Ortega's claim as the final burial of Nicaraguan democracy. He warned the international community that elections will no longer be a viable route for change in the country. Human rights groups in the United Nations have repeatedly reported that the 2021 general election was essentially a farce. Candidates were detained, dissent was repressed, and the government announced Ortega had won 76% of the vote. The United States, the European Union, and other international bodies have condemned the election and the broader pattern of authoritarian rule. Ortega's statement reaffirms a trajectory that has turned the country's political life into a one-man show. His government has cracked down on opposition and even those who once supported him. With elections abolished and power concentrated in the hands of Ortega and Murillo, the democratic institutions Nicaragua once had are effectively gone. As the world watches, the United Nations and human rights watchdogs remain concerned about the future of basic freedoms in the Central American nation. The United States and European Union have called for renewed pressure on Nicaragua to restore democratic norms. That's all we have on this developing story. Stay tuned for further updates. Thank you for listening. Good night.